Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here basically we are discussing one other topic, that is city creation basically. In this city creation basically we are discussing one other topic, that is earthquake topics. Here basically you can take any of the topic. Here basically I'm in India, so that's why basically I'm taking the topic of earthquake Gujarat basically. So one of the person told that this is the magnitude. One of the person given one example. Assume that basically this earthquake came and one person death basically was written basically, but he left India basically through visa basically. That visa basically data was not captured by the earthquake department. So how this is going to work basically? So he told that basically they will transfer the data to that country basically. Literally basically up to that level basically they are up to the level basically. That is the government basically will transfer the data to that country basically. So it's very system is very actually very bad basically, that also you can say. So they say that basically system is very bad basically. So one of the person told that basically 3.4 is the magnitude, and this is the magnitude of earthquake basically which is happened basically. In that basically this many people are going to die from the disease basically. That is the thing basically. And disease basically say that basically created from set of incidents and set of medicines basically are there basically. If basically they can few people say that basically this data is first passed to the nuclear power plant basically. They basically tries to save the data basically. If they can save, then basically they will say few data will gets removed from that nuclear power plant. Then basically they sends the data to the energy department. They also basically see tries. Then few more data basically are removed from this line number basically, and then basically they are sending the data to power supply company. There also basically they removes few data basically from the data basically from this number basically, which is that number basically which is given. Pneumonia this much, 100, malaria this much, chikungunya 200, normal disease 300, and corona 100. So they basically keeps on removing. After that basically they sends the data to the power supply company, but before that basically sends the data to the power political people also, and the local doctors also basically, if they can save basically. If they can save, so you just imagine basically up to what level the power hospital department also basically have. Up to what level the power hospital groups also basically have. So lots of people says that ये हॉस्पिटल वाले करते क्या है, हॉस्पिटल वाले क्या करते हैं. So they basically have this much power basically, but that is basically depends upon the types of hospitals basically, because that the hospitals which are connected with the governments basically, that hospital only basically they ask basically. So that are basically few hospitals only basically, and few people says that in one city basically there is only one hospital, and few people says that in one state basically there is one hospital basically, because in each and every city basically they can't create the setup basically of this basically. So they basically create only one hospital in one state basically, and that is basically the government hospital basically, which has declared basically. So if few people says that basically in India basically there are 39 to 40 states basically, then how basically we can handle up to that level. So few people says that basically in India only basically they have one hospital like that basically, that is the government hospital. Few people says that that's a AIMS oxygen, sorry, the AIMS hospital basically. Few people says basically, whether it is correct or not, that I don't know basically, but as per the expense basically they do the stuff basically, and it's very critical data, so mostly basically it might be only one hospital basically, but that depends on the basically the power of infrastructure basically the India have basically, power of infrastructure basically the India have. So according to that only basically they works. So what one person told that basically, what is the infrastructure of India basically, because we want to do some investment basically. So first they see the infrastructure basically. Why? Because I have taken one example. For example, they are giving one project basically, as if that CRM project basically, one European company basically given one project basically, to one Mumbai city basically. Assume that basically Mumbai city, or basically and assume Vadodara city basically. They are given one project to Vadodara city or Mumbai city. Any basically, they basically first see the Vadodara city infrastructure and Mumbai city infrastructure basically. Reason, when the CRM project is going to be discussed basically with the European client basically through the internet basically, that is the digital basically, that time the person basically who is doing the discussion, he is not supposed to get any type of problem basically. He is not supposed to get any type of problem basically. So that basically is the thing basically. So he is not supposed to get any types of problem basically. And that basically, what is that basically, we have already discussed long before. For this basically, I think I have uploaded 5 to 6 videos basically. What actually I want to say basically. So assume that basically they basically saw the each and every infrastructure, so that their people basically is not supposed to get any type of, the person basically who is doing the discussion of the Indian software company person basically, in assume that in Vadodara or Mumbai basically, he is basically now European employee basically, for temporary basically, for particular period basically. So they basically will be responsible basically if anything basically is going to happen. So they have to take the assurity of 98% basically, and they basically directly basically they can't, they take the assurity from the Europe basically. So they basically place government people basically, that this is my our resource basically, that is our company's resource for this particular period basically. So you have to take care of that particular resource basically. So you can just imagine basically, because that CRM project is going to generate one vegetable basically. So that's why basically you have to take care, and the government basically takes care basically. And here basically the normal company base, the company basically which is connected with Vadodara and Mumbai also basically, they also basically takes care. So two people basically are there, because it might possible that basically that CRM project basically they like, and they basically takes that particular person to Europe only basically. So that type of possibilities are also basically there basically. So that type of possibilities are also there. That's why basically they also basically takes care of that particular employee basically. So you can just imagine basically the things basically are connected. So just see basically up to this is the basically topic, and how basically we connected up to thing basically. So earthquake basically gives this many data, and 900 crore people basically, sorry, 9 not 900, 900 people basically. From this basically lots of basically number gets removed basically. It's might possible that basically 75% number gets removed basically by the up to the doctor group basically, comes the data to the doctor basically. So like this reason they have the power, no, basically they have the control, they have the medicines basically. Few people basically give the free service, few doctors basically takes the charge basically. So that's like that. So in next video basically we are going to see little bit more about this earthquake topic, that is connected with the death basically.